Good evening, everyone. This is Melissa Thomas with Florida National News coming to you with the evening news rundown. Thank you guys, as always, for tuning in. And for those of you here in the state of Florida, happy primary election day to you. It is August 18th. So hopefully by now you've been able to cast your vote. Maybe you're just now getting off work and are headed to the nearest ballot. So, we wish you a happy primary election day. Continue to stay safe out there. And we'll touch on the primary election story in a moment and in terms of how many people have already submitted their votes. Kind of having a proud moment today in terms of the state of Florida and the folks who have already cast their vote in the primary election. Now, as always, we like to extend the invitation for any businesses or advertisers looking to advertise. We want to extend the invitation to advertise on our platform. Florida National News has 5 different shows to choose from, and our platform continues to grow as we continue to come up with new and great ideas. So if you're interested in advertising, just shoot us a quick email at ads@floridanationalnews.com to learn more and to get started. Now, in the meantime, guys, as always, we like to give you the latest COVID-19 reports globally here in the United States and in the state of Florida. So globally, according to the World Health Organization, the World Health Organization is reporting over 21.7 million confirmed cases and over 771,000 confirmed deaths. Here in the United States, Johns Hopkins University is reporting over 5.4 million confirmed cases and over 171,000 confirmed deaths. Here in the state of Florida, the Department of Health is reporting nearly 580,000 confirmed cases and over 9,700 confirmed deaths, which is, of course, some unfortunate news and always very concerning. And as usual, we here at the Evening News Rundown want to keep you guys updated and posted where all of that is concerned. Now, jumping into our world story as it relates to COVID-19, Italy is now the next nation to shut down its nightclubs as cases begin to spike there. Now, here's a bit of an update where that's concerned. There was a recent holiday over the weekend that began where it marks a celebration of young folks that are going out and celebrating and runs until September. Mind you, today is only August 18th. The holiday runs all the way until September, but because of young folks gathering in large crowds, the nation has decided to shut down its nightclubs again to reimpose the COVID-19 restrictions. And in addition to closing the nightclubs down, they're now mandating masks to be worn in areas within the vicinity of nightclubs as well, because previously folks were not wearing their masks. They weren't really heeding the mask mandate before. Now, the new rules started yesterday, which is 2 days after the Italian holiday kicked off over the weekend. And of course, young Italians go out dancing. So the masks will be required between 6 p.m. and 6 a.m. in areas close to the bars and pubs and where gatherings are more likely. And of course, the government had kept the clubs open despite those mounting criticisms I mentioned before about people not taking the mandate seriously. Now, the industry, the club industry, if you will, has yearly revenues of 4 billion euros. And the sector's lobby group, SILB or SILB, they said that calling on the government for support. They wanted to keep the clubs open to continue to generate that revenue. However, Industry Minister Stefano Patanelli conceded that there would be economic damage, but he saw no alternative. And since the outbreak came to light on February 21st in Italy, Italy has recorded more than 35,000 COVID-19 related deaths. Now, the other measure that they've done happened in Rome's airports, and that began this past Sunday after the government said on Wednesday that people traveling from Croatia, Greece, Malta, and Spain must be screened. So now at the Rome airport or the Rome airports, they are now doing COVID-19 testing. So if you're in Italy or you're thinking about going, just continue to be careful in those areas because things are starting to lock down and get a little bit tighter where COVID-19 is concerned. Now, jumping here to the United States as it relates to COVID-19, a bit of shocking news and unfortunate news is that COVID-19 is now the number three cause of death among people here in the United States, behind cancer and heart disease already. Yes, that is correct. You heard that right. And I made sure to repeat it so you could hear it right. We are now experiencing the number 3 death is COVID-19 behind cancer and heart disease. Now, and this is according to the CDC, by the way, the country has been recording an average of more than 1,000 COVID-19 deaths per day over the past 3 weeks alone. The news comes after testing has now fallen by about an average of 68,000 per day. 30 states in the US still have test positivity rates of more than 5%, which is, of course, as you guys have been hearing me report, is the World Health Organization standard, 5% positivity test rate consistently over the course of 14 days. That's what the World Health Organization believes is a good baseline or moderate level to be able to reopen all businesses and places of school, everything. So we'll continue to keep you guys updated on that. Now, jumping here to the state of Florida, speaking of COVID-19, Orlando Commissioner Regina Hill has partnered with Florida Senator Randolph Bracy to propose what is called Edwards Law in honor of Commissioner Hill's brother, who just yesterday passed away due to COVID-19 as an inmate. And she only found out that he was sick with COVID-19 very recently. He had been in the hospital for 2 weeks by the time that she found out that he was ill with COVID-19. So yesterday, during a press conference, she and Florida Senator Randolph Bracy did a press conference in front of City Hall to propose Edwards Law. And this is a bill that Senator Bracy will propose when the legislative session continues next year. So we'll continue to keep you guys updated on that as well. Florida National News sends its condolences and respects to the Hill family. My thoughts and prayers are with you, Commissioner Hill. In the meantime, guys, we're going to take a quick commercial break and come back with some more stories for you. Stay tuned.
It takes experience to know the difference in property values. For example, this business is not the same as this business. And this house is definitely not the same as this house. And this, well, this is definitely not the same as this. And that's why it's important to have someone who understands true property appraisals to help our community grow, while making sure everyone pays their fair share. Because experience matters. Re-elect Rick Singh for Orange County Property Appraiser.
All right, guys, welcome back to the Evening News Rundown. Thank you for continuing to stick with us. Now, I didn't present the audience question before the commercial break, but I will present it here. In light of the Edwards Law that's going to be proposed here soon by Florida Senator Randolph Bracy in honor of Commissioner Hill's brother, who has passed away due to COVID-19 as an inmate, what are your thoughts on the current handling of COVID-19 in the prisons and in the jails? Do you think it's currently being handled properly? And if not, what do you think should happen? Leave a comment below. Let us know. Let us know what you think. Maybe it doesn't matter to you. Either way, let us know what your thoughts are. We love to hear from you guys. We always love to have the conversation with you. Now, jumping into our other U.S. story, you guys have likely heard all of the news over the past week, but Postmaster General DeJoy will be appearing in a U.S. House hearing next week, of course, due to the possible delays in the mail as it relates to mail-in ballots for the November 3rd election. There's a lot of concern on that. So, of course, we want to keep you guys updated and up to speed. So here's what you need to know where that's concerned. Now, he has agreed to appear in the hearing next week. And according to the Associated Press, he will also appear before the Senate on Friday this week. So we'll continue to keep you guys updated there. He took over leadership of the Postal Service back in May, and pressure has grown throughout the summer for him to answer questions about his plans to, quote, implement an organizational realignment at the agency. Now, House Oversight Chair Representative Carolyn Maloney, who's a representative for the state of New York, when she announced his agreement to testify, she said, quote, the American people want their mail, medicines, and mail-in ballots delivered in a timely way. And they certainly do not want drastic changes and delays in the midst of a global pandemic just months before the election. Now, the agency has long been in financial trouble. We've been hearing about this for many years now. But just within the last year alone, the U.S. Postal Service has lost $9 billion with a B. But DeJoy's cost-cutting measures have drawn the ire of Democrats who fear the cost cuts could it could disrupt the mailing of ballots ahead of the November general election. Republicans, many of whom represent rural voters that depend on the mail, they're also concerned about the changes to postal delivery. And this afternoon, when I spoke to Congresswoman Val Demings, when I asked her about the measure that House Democrats will be proposing, since Speaker Nancy Pelosi has called Congress back to session to propose that bill and vote on it in terms of stopping any more delays with the U.S. Postal Service. I asked her what would be necessary in terms of getting agreement with the Senate in order to make sure the bill passes. And the point that she made was, given that the U.S. Postal Service touches every address in the United States, she would be shocked to learn that there is any opposition where this is concerned, because it touches everybody. So we'll continue to keep you guys updated on that. The plot thickens, of course. Now, chief among the most recent concerns are DeJoy's decision to cut back on overtime for mail carriers, which means that late arriving mail will more likely be delivered the next day. And of course, the removal of high-speed sorting machines. That will slow things down in terms of the mail arriving on time as well. Now, the oversight hearing with DeJoy, which was originally planned for November, got moved up to next week. Now, Robert Duncan, who is a member of the U.S. Postal Service Board of Governors, is also set to testify in the House of Representatives. We'll continue to keep you updated. Now, as promised, I did mention that there would be a story on Florida's primary. So again, happy primary day to those in the state of Florida. So far, the number of primary voters has passed the $2.6 million mark, 80% of which happened by mail. So that previous story I just shared about what's going on with the U.S. Postal Service, all eyes are on it, especially those of us here in the state of Florida who have voted in the primary. Now, these numbers were posted on the State Division of Elections website, and early voting ended this weekend throughout the state, of course. Mail-in ballots will continue to come in supervisors of elections offices for the remainder of the day until the polls close at 7 p.m. For those of you who haven't gotten a chance to vote yet, maybe you're just getting off of work, you have till 7 p.m. to cast your vote today. Now, Florida has seen an increase in mailing voted amid the pandemic, of course, particularly since the COVID-19 virus has aimed at more vulnerable audiences or more senior people. So they've chosen to vote by mail this go around just to stay safe. People were kind of reluctant to show up in person to vote. Now, by comparison, 2 years ago, vote by mail only accounted for 67% of the ballots cast ahead of the primary elections. Now, Jefferson County Supervisor of Elections, Marty Bishop, says that he expects statewide turnout for primaries to be lower than usual, of course, given the COVID-19 pandemic. However, he said the primaries will be a helpful learning experience as supervisors prepare for the general election, because they're expecting a much larger in-person turnout for the November 3rd general election. The primaries, of course, include partisan races for congressional and legislative seats throughout the state, and also local nonpartisan elections as well. So again, happy primary election day to our folks in Florida. And continue to stay safe while you're out there, while you're casting your ballot and exercising your right to vote. And thank you for choosing to exercise your right to vote. In the meantime, we're going to take another quick commercial break and come back with your business and sports story.
I'm not picking it up. You pick it up.
I'm not picking it up.
Well, somebody's got to pick it up.
I'll pick it up. They're clean. 'Cause my hand is clean. Oh yeah, I'm Charmin Clean. That's how I know they're clean.
Charmin Ultra Strong is woven like a washcloth and just cleans better.
Yeah, I'm Charmin
The
Clean.
kid does have a
That's
point.
My hand is clean.
Enjoy the go with Charmin. And for an extra clean finish, try Charmin Flushable Wipes.
All right, guys, welcome back to the Evening News Rundown. Thank you for continuing to stick with us. Right before I get into the business story, I did want to shout out someone who did leave several comments, actually, during the commercial break. I wanted to shout out to Laritza Castillo. Thank you so much for leaving your comments. First of all, she left a comment in response to our audience question about the prison system. So she said, no, she doesn't feel that the COVID-19 situation has been handled properly in the prisons, and said, we need to look at the prison system as a whole and make changes. The first issue is a privatization. Then she also kind of talked about, she was saying, just want to know if there will be changes that the public is not privy to, particularly as it relates to the U.S. Postal Service. And she was saying the loss of the sorting machines makes no sense. So guys, if you want to join the conversation, leave your comments below as well. I'd love to share with the remainder of our audience, or just continue even after the show is over. We'd love to, continue that conversation with you. Thank you so much, Laritza. Shout out to you for leaving a comment. We appreciate you. Now jumping into our business story, a bit of sad news if you are a Pizza Hut lover. They are shutting down 300 locations right now as the one of the largest franchisees for Pizza Hut has filed Chapter 11 bankruptcy. This is another major company that has chosen to do that. Not Pizza Hut itself, but the franchisee, and actually Pizza Hut's largest franchisee, Yum Companies, which is the parent company. Sorry about that. Now, the Yum Companies is the parent company that owns Pizza Hut, and the franchisee owned 1,227 Pizza Hut locations. That's a lot of locations, guys. However, unfortunately, that company, NPC International, had to file Chapter 11 bankruptcy on July 1st, and this is coming from the Louisville Business First report. So some unfortunate news from NPC International Inc., but they went ahead and worked together with Yum Brands to reach that agreement on July 1st. And not only did they own 1,227 Pizza Hut locations, they also own nearly 400 Wendy's locations. So if you're a big Wendy's fan, a big burger fan, or you love your pizza, yeah, be on the lookout. There may be some locations closing down. Now, the report that made the announcement did not list the specific locations that are going to close, but we know those numbers. It's going to be pretty much 300 Pizza Hut locations that are going to close. And they did provide a reason for why, though. One of the things that they said in their statement, Pizza Hut made in the statement, was that consistent with Pizza Hut's previously announced transition to a more modern delivery, curbside, and carryout focused asset base, a substantial majority of the NPC Pizza Hut locations to be closed are dine-in locations. So these locations were only drive-through and dine-in only. You know what I mean? So in the name of efficiency and efficacy, they are deciding to close those down. And the employees that were working at the Pizza Hut locations that are going to be closed down will be transferred. This is part of the Pizza Hut statement that they made when they made the announcement. So very interesting where that's concerned, but at least those who work there still have an opportunity to still have a job and just move to another location that is at least reasonable. Now, jumping into our sports story very quickly, while things are still up in the air where college sports are concerned, high school sports, they have some great news. They are set to start in late August. They are going to begin their practices in late August. The Florida High School Athletic Association voted on Friday to go ahead and let that happen. So congratulations to all of our high school sports athletes. They're excited. They're ready to come back. And in a statement of that announcement, they said, quote, you know, the students are not just looking forward to getting back to the sports they love, but they're also looking forward to reuniting with the teammates that they love. The Florida High School Athletic Association voted 11-5 to reopen, to basically open fall sports practices on August 24th. And the sports seasons themselves are going to start September 4th. Now, there are a few exceptions, and they made sure to offer an alternative for some of these areas. Any counties in Florida that are still in phase 1, such as Palm Beach, Broward, and Miami-Dade, that reopening date doesn't start for them, or the start date doesn't apply for those counties. However, the measure that was approved on Friday allows those districts to work with the FHSAA and one another to hopefully craft delayed sports calendars and perhaps schedule regional playoffs. Now, those counties that are the exception, the ones that are still in phase 1, have until September 18th to come up with their proposed schedules. So again, that is a bit of great news for Florida high school sports, that they're still going to be able to get started in late August and then kick off their seasons in early September. Now we're going to take another quick commercial break, guys, and wrap up with our entertainment story. So be sure to stay tuned. Thank you so much for tuning in thus far. We appreciate you.
At Duke Energy, we deliver electricity and so much more, like free home energy assessments, rebates for energy-saving improvements, payment options to help you better manage your budget, and even bill credits for helping the community use less energy. So no matter what you're doing, we can help you make better energy choices every day. It's just another way we bring power to your life. How much can you save?
All right, guys, welcome back to the Evening News Rundown. Thank you, as always, for tuning in. We appreciate you. Now we're going to wrap up with our entertainment story. I know it's Tuesday. I know you're missing somebody. Our lovely Jamesia Stoudemire will be back on Thursday for your entertainment 4 for 4. In the meantime, I'm going to hold the fort down for her and give you a quick update as it relates to the Ellen DeGeneres show. You guys heard us report that she had obviously issued a very formal letter apologizing to her employees when Warner Media began their probe into what was alleged to be a toxic work environment for the employees working at the show. And of course, the public news media kind of covering everything that's been going on there. Now, she made a recent announcement in certain executives that are now leaving the company in a shakeup as a result of the Warner Media probe. So just a quick update on those names. There are roughly 3 executives that are now leaving. Ed Glavin, Kevin Lehman, and Jonathan Norman are leaving the show following allegations of a culture of fear, retaliation, and sexual harassment on the daytime show. Now, top executive producers Mary Connolly and Andy Lassner will remain there. And as a bit of an upgrade or a promotion, DJ Steven Twitch Boss is now being promoted to co-executive producer, and he confirmed that on Twitch, of course, on Monday. So congratulations to DJ Steven Twitch Boss. Now, during a staff Zoom call, Ellen herself announced these changes, and she apologized again to her staff for the press reports and the show's toxic workplace. You know, she mentioned her dedication to her staff and said she cares about all of them and she's grateful for each and every one of them. She said, quote, "I feel like I've kind of let the ball drop a bit because I'm focused on the show. I go in and I do the show and I've just let everybody do their jobs to run different departments. And it just became a well-oiled machine. And I think that is the problem." She said, "It's not a machine. This is people. These are human beings that are working hard every single day to put this together. This show would not be what it is without all of you." And of course, you know, this has been several weeks now after those reports have come out. And she did promise staffing changes after the probe. And the Warner Media probe is now wrapping up. It's not quite done yet, but it's wrapping up. Now, you know, there's several stars such as Katy Perry, Diane Keaton, and Jay Leno who have come to Ellen's defense, you know, kind of testifying to their positive experiences on the show. However, there is a difference between being talent coming on a show as a guest and being an employee working day-to-day operations on the show. And to that end, a former DJ of the show, DJ Tony Okungboa, he wrote on Instagram, quote, "While I'm grateful for the opportunity it afforded me, I did experience and feel the toxicity of the environment, and I stand with my former colleagues in their quest to create a healthier and more inclusive workplace as the show moves forward." So a bit of an update there as it relates to the Ellen DeGeneres Show. But that's going to do it for us here at the Evening News Rundown. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. Shout out again to Laritza Castillo. I see your comments, girl. We'll continue to talk. If you guys haven't yet, be sure to like, subscribe, follow us, all that fun stuff. You'll find us at Florida National News on Facebook, YouTube, and Instagram. So just give us a look up. Be sure to like, follow, share, subscribe, do all that fun stuff. And when you're on YouTube, be sure to click the bell icon so you get all the notifications for all of our shows. You guys are going to see me twice tomorrow. I'll be back with FNN Business Talk for an interview with Skip Sorensen. So that's going to be an interesting interview. That's happening at 1 p.m. Eastern time. And then I'll be back in the afternoon at 5 p.m. Eastern with the Evening News Rundown. In the meantime, it is Tuesday, so the lovely Casey Hudson will be on this evening at 8 p.m. Eastern time with the FNN Sports Take. In the meantime, guys, that does it for me. Have a great rest of your day. For those of you still voting, continue to be safe here in the state of Florida. Take care.